So, you're thinking about buying a Tesla in 2026? Yeah, you and a lot of other people. But let's be honest, with all the hype, all the headlines, it can be kind of overwhelming. So, in this explainer, we're going to cut through all that noise and build you the complete handbook for buying a Tesla right now.
Okay, let's just dive right into the biggest question of all. What does a Tesla actually cost? You've probably seen the ads, you've heard the talk about a $40,000 model. Well, as we're about to see, getting your hands on one for that price, it's pretty much a myth. So let's break down the real numbers. All right, first things first, let's decode the lineup. To figure out which Tesla is the right one for you, you gotta understand the family. And it's a family with some very different personalities, from the everyday commuters to some, let's just say, very niche luxury rides.
Now, let's start with the two heavy hitters. These are the best-selling EVs in the entire world for a reason. You've got the Model 3, which is really the sweet spot for most people. It's the perfect way to get into the Tesla ecosystem. But if you need more room, maybe you've got kids, a dog, or just lots of gear, the Model Y is your answer. It's basically a bigger, more practical Model 3, and honestly, it's Tesla's cash cow.
Okay, now let's talk about the luxury models, the ones that are less about just getting around and more about making a statement. The Model S, it's the original game changer, but now it's just a pure performance machine. The Model X is the family SUV for people who want to show off with those, crazy falcon wing doors. And then there's the Cybertruck. It's an $82,000 meme on wheels that will absolutely get you noticed for better or for worse. All right, section 2. And this is where things get really interesting. We're talking about calculating the true cost. Because that sticker price you see online, oh, that's rarely the price you actually pay. Let's get into all the hidden stuff. Just look at how fast this adds up. You take a reasonably equipped Model 3. You start at $47,500, but then bam, there's a mandatory destination fee. Oh, and you want a color that isn't white? That'll cost you. Want the cool white interior? Add another $2,000. And you've got to have a home charger, right? All of a sudden, you're at almost $54,000. And we haven't even talked about tax yet. The sticker price is just the starting line.
And okay, you might want to sit down for this one. Insurance shock. The average cost is about $2,300 a year. And you're probably asking, why so high? Well, it's because literally every part of the car, the bumpers, the mirrors, you name it, is packed with expensive sensors and cameras. So a simple fender bender can turn into a repair bill that's thousands of dollars more than a normal car.
To put that into perspective, just look at this. You're paying almost $1,000 more every single year just for insurance compared to a normal sedan. It's a huge piece of the ownership cost puzzle that a lot of people just don't see coming.
But wait, it's not all bad news on the money front. In fact, here's the really, really good news. Maintenance is dirt cheap. I mean, think about it. No oil changes, brakes that can last for over 100,000 miles. Your annual upkeep is pretty much just rotating the tires and maybe swapping an air filter. That's a massive savings compared to any gas car.
Okay, section 3, the full self-driving dilemma. Now that we've got a handle on the costs, let's talk about the biggest optional extra. And this is, without a doubt, the most controversial, most debated topic in the entire Tesla world. What exactly are you paying for? Before we go any further, we need to be absolutely 100% crystal clear about this. What Tesla calls full self-driving is a level 2 autonomous system. This is a driver support system. It is not a self-driving car. That means your hands have to be on the wheel, you have to be paying attention, and you are always, always responsible. So, what's the difference between what's free and what you pay for? Well, every single Tesla comes with basic autopilot. It does adaptive cruise control and keeps you in your lane, stuff that's pretty common on new cars now. The premium full self-driving subscription, that adds the fancy stuff, like stopping at traffic lights and steering on city streets. But it comes with a pretty steep monthly price tag. And the whole FSD controversy really just exploded back in 2026. See, for years, people paid over $12,000 for it, thinking they were buying an asset that would get more valuable over time. Then, Tesla just flipped a switch and moved to a subscription-only model. For all those early buyers, it was a slap in the face. It basically wiped out their investment overnight. People were furious. So after all that, the different models, the real costs, the FSD drama, let's bring it all home. Section 4, your final Tesla verdict. Let's put it all together and figure out if a Tesla is the right car for you. At the end of the day, the decision really comes down to this big trade-off. On the one hand, you get absolutely unmatched performance, super low running costs, and the best charging network on the planet, period. But on the other hand, you're rolling the dice on build quality, paying high insurance, and then there's the whole, let's call it the Elon factor. It's all about what you prioritize.
So let's make this really simple. Here's a quick checklist. You should probably buy a Tesla if you can charge at home. That's a big one. But you might want to look somewhere else if you live in an apartment with no charger, or if you absolutely demand perfect paint and panel gaps, or if the idea of controlling everything from a giant touchscreen just drives you crazy. It's as much about your lifestyle as it is about the car itself. And that brings us to the final and maybe most important question of all. Tesla's Supercharger network is its ace in the hole. It's more reliable, it's everywhere, and it's just plain easier to use than anything else out there. So the question you have to ask yourself is this: is that one single massive advantage enough to make all the costs and all the compromises we've talked about worth it? That's what it all comes down to.